Welcome back everyone to our week 6 or end of unit in the third grade science, which is interdependent relationships in ecosystems. Throughout this unit, you've been doing an incredible job looking at conservation and different animals and the different adaptations that animals make both behaviorally as well as physically to adapt to their environment. So this week we're going to kind of bring it all together and have a little fun. It's going to be a little hands-on art for everyone, and you're also going to be finishing up that paper that you've been working on and most of you have done an outstanding job on. So what you're going to do this week is you're going to take that animal that you chose and you're going to think of the habitat that they live in, and most of you did a great job writing about that habitat. Then you're going to create what's called a shoebox diorama of an ecosystem, and it's going to show what you learned, and then you're going to create a really short video to share why it's important we practice conservation. This will be directly in relation to your paper, and some of you might even use your paper as part of the presentation itself. There are some of you that your families don't like your face being in the presentation. That's completely fine. You can stand behind the shoebox as it sits on a table, and you can even do the videotaping as long as you're speaking. That's what we're going to be looking at. So in your model or your shoebox diorama, first of all, hopefully you can find a shoebox. Otherwise, you can build a three-dimensional little box-shaped something, but you're going to be decorating and putting your animal into that. And it should be a three-dimensional model of what the habitat would look like and include a realistic looking plant and animals that belong there. So in the ones you can see, some students have printed out, for example, this whale here. Some of them have cut out or actually made all of the stuff by hand. And over here you can see some people have little plastic models. So they've already used items that they have and then just enhanced it with other items that they found or that they created. Those are different ways in which you can create it. After creating that diorama, make sure to write and present a video that states the following things. And again, most of this is in your paper, so it should be pretty easy. Describe what your habitat is. Where is your habitat located? So where in the world is it? What are some of the animals and plants that live in your habitat, which is a section in your paper, so that should be easy. And then why is it so important to save this habitat? So what's the importance of conservation and the habitat that you're focused on? When you're done with that, make sure you take a picture of your project and put it in with your video, and you can upload that straight to your To Be Graded folder. After you're done with your diorama, you're going to be finishing that conservation paper. Like I said, most of you done an outstanding job with it, so this week we're going to kind of wrap it up and bring it together. There's not going to be too much writing to do. Make sure that you write your conclusion, and in your conclusion you're going to reiterate your main ideas, so those topic paragraphs, and also a closing statement of why is it so important to you that we practice conservation. And that you can either speak specifically about your animal or conservation in general. After you complete the writing, make sure to go back and edit your paper, and you should be editing for spelling and grammar. Make sure there's good flow, which your teacher should have been giving feedback on already. Does your paper include all of the weekly inclusions? And does your paper make sense? So does it flow well? Does it sound good? After you go over the writing by yourself, make sure you read your paper out loud to someone in your family. When you read out loud, you can sometimes hear if something doesn't make sense, or if you have a run-on sentence, or you're not able to take a breath. When you read it to yourself instead, your mind is actually so smart that it skips over mistakes because it knows what it's supposed to say. So make sure you do read it out loud.